Decades of living through Gulf Coast disasters have taught me two things. First, the authorities aren't going to show up right away to save us. And second, the lone wolf strategy, it's a total system failure waiting to happen. Look at this. This is a morning after shot of my neighbor's house after Hurricane Beryl. I actually stood by my back window the night before, heard that tremendous crack, and watched this massive tree fall in slow motion. The worst part? The winds were still too high for me to even step outside. I couldn't check on them. I couldn't call them. The phones had been dead for hours. I was 50 feet away. But I was completely offline. My neighbors were fine, thank goodness, but that night convinced me starting a local neighborhood group isn't just a good idea. When the grid goes down, it's the only system that actually works. Who should you include in your group? I'd start small with a few neighbors up and down your block or across the street. That makes it easier to manage and will include the people you're most likely to access right away. If the idea spreads, that's great. But it's still best to manage subgroups that are within your line of sight. For one thing, I've discovered the power of cheap FRS radios, which function best within a few hundred yards with few obstructions. These radios are like extra powerful walkie-talkies. They're simple and intuitive to operate, don't require a license, and won't consume much power. Especially during the peak of a disaster after phones have died, and they will, you'll have more peace of mind. Every household could agree to keep their radios on and set to an agreed-upon channel, at least at pre-planned check-in times. That way you can let others know that you're fine after a tree falls, or if the worst happens, that somebody requires emergency assistance. And yes, I have a video on this channel with my FRS radio demo. The pair I bought cost about $25 a piece and also came with access to the weather band and commercial radio stations, so they're handy to have. I'll drop a link in the description. You can also use them in case somebody in your household decides to leave home for an urgent errand or to call upon neighbors. Just remember that in the best case, you probably won't have a range of over a mile or two. Besides communication, you could also arrange for informal co-ops that make prepping manageable. For example, some households may have gas generators, while others rely more on power banks, power stations, or rechargeable devices. For example, I rely on 2 power stations and a solar panel, but when the sky remained overcast for days, things got dicey. I would have been happy to chip in for fuel in exchange for a chance to plug in my power station, or even a power bank long enough to tide me over. People who rely on medical equipment, temperature-sensitive medications, or other essentials will have even more urgent needs. At the same time, you can't pressure people into signing on to the deal. Some large generator owners might prefer to keep expensive preps for themselves, and that's fine too. The group could find other ways to recharge generators during a power outage, like at a community center, or in the case of urgent medical needs, a hospital may help. On the brighter side, a neighborhood group can provide essential morale boosting. One of my good memories from Hurricane Ike consisted of an impromptu driveway cookout for food we could no longer keep in our warm fridges and melted ice chests. Neighbors contributed food like hot dogs, cans of chili, or bags of chips, and that little potluck really boosted our morale during a tense and uncomfortable time. If you want to get started right away, before a disaster strikes, I've got a free PDF starter guide linked in the description. Anyway, you'll certainly want to plan to make your home as self-sufficient as possible, but you'll find that every household has its own strengths and weaknesses. For instance, I can help people with their radios and know how to manage power consumption. I'm not good at fiddling with something like a large gas generator. It sounds trite, but we really do work better together. And during a crisis, you're going to want every advantage you can have. Have you formed a neighborhood disaster planning group or thought about forming one? Again, I have a free downloadable PDF starter guide in the description and first comment. Also, we'd love to see your ideas in the comments. Comments for previous videos have helped inspire lots of people and very often make it into future videos. I hope you stick around to share more sensible disaster preparedness tips. You're certainly welcome to like and subscribe to stay connected and help share information. Until we chat again, I hope you make plans to take good care of yourself and your loved ones.